So we stand in front of Dollar Tree and basically
such as this thing here.
all right, I'm excited to have a guest.
Metal right here, of course. Everyone is.
Cuba is like they're under a dictator. RTD Live Talk, Detroit's #1 late night YouTube talk show. We are live for a Thursday edition of the People's Talk Show. Excited to be back. Looking forward to connecting. And tonight, I want to do something a little bit different. I got some articles on my side. But then again, at this point, everybody kind of knows what the primary stories are. But I want to find out what's on your radar. What are you guys keeping an eye on? What concerns you? Definitely want to continue to give the community a chance to let their voice be heard. So we'll just start off in a different format, probably open up the phone lines and just get a chance to see what's happening out there and what's on your guys' radar. So I hope everyone's doing well. Want to welcome any first-time viewers to the community. And I just want to switch things up a little bit. And so typically I start off by going through some headlines. And I got some headlines to share. But once again, after a while, it gets kind of boring. So won't be long today. We'll go according to the phone line activity. But this is a great chance for everybody to call in and let their voice be heard. And it's been a while, so I might even do some on-screen face-to-face connections with some of the members in the community. So something a little bit different, but I figure end of the week, why not shake it up? Anyway, for those who might be new, welcome. Let me know where you're watching from in the chat. And then when the phone lines open up, we'd definitely love to hear from you. I'm sure there's a variety of stories and good and bad out there that we can touch on. But once again, I want to connect with the community tonight. So let's try to do that. So I'll welcome a few people in here, do some maintenance on my side, and then just open the phone lines and we'll see where it takes us this evening. And let me check in real quick, acknowledge a couple people. Also, we got, as we come in, definitely hit the thumbs up button. Hopefully the algorithms notify a few more people and we can get this party started. And also, if you happen to be new or someone who usually doesn't speak, feel free to let me know where you're watching from via the chat. Or definitely give us a call. Just let me know your thoughts on what you keep an eye on and what concerns you, what excites you, what concerns you, you name it. Anyway, let me acknowledge a couple people and see where we go from here. We got Ed checking in as well. Jesus is King of Kings, 100%. We got Barlight Broker checking in as well. Appreciate you guys, man. We got Priceless checking in. What else we got here? LBP is checking in as well. What else we got here? We got Joshua as well checking in. Appreciate you, man. Let me see. Easy Rocks checking in. Keep it going. DZ, we got Denzi, Mr. Nitty, we got Paul from Eugene. All right, we got Daryl checking in as well. Barlight Broker S400, Rob B. All right, man, appreciate you guys. Will Smith checking in as well. All right, so as always, just want to shake some things up on my side. You know, took a day or two off trying to, clear my mind and just, unwind a little bit. And so ripping and running on my side is hard to stay plugged in with the news throughout the day and then try to put together some stories to come together and share it with you guys. And so what I typically do throughout the day as news is sent my way, I just put it right on Twitter or in the Telegram to make sure everyone stay up in real time. And we can go from there. So, all right, what we got here. Analytical habit trails. I'm sure I'm butchering that. Forgive me. But he says insurance companies, they're in the business of collecting premiums, not writing checks. Not sure what that's about. Does that have anything to do with the current situation down in Florida and the insurance companies that may or may not be so happy to pay out to the tunes of millions or billions of dollars? We'll find out. And also, I haven't checked into that, so I can definitely look that up. But anyway, throw out some topics, throw out some subject matters in the chat, and let me know what you guys keep an eye on. And we can jump on as well. Michael Porter, appreciate you, man. All right, so for those who might be new, or might be stumbling across this channel for the first time by accident, you never know. Algorithms these days are not too friendly, and so can't rely upon them. But if you happen to come across this, hit that subscribe button as well as the bell notification. Hopefully you are able to plug in whenever we go live. That's the goal. And also, if you haven't already, make sure you connect with RTD as well as all your other favorite content creators on these alternative platforms here. Just because there's a crackdown on truth these days, and it's only going to get worse. And what else? Keep it moving. So anyway, before I dive in further, I just want to make sure I continue to remind. I'm actually working on a giveaway for the RTD Silver Starter Kit, which I'm gonna roll out tomorrow. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. But as I said before, looking to try to get as much weight in people's hands as possible on my end. So stay tuned for that. It'd be a great way for people to just basically get a chance to win some free silver just by promoting the channel as well as helping other people realize the importance of sound money. So before I move forward, let me do a little maintenance on my side here by just bringing before you guys my current sponsors, Bullion Max, as well as 4 Patriots, and then we'll jump into opening the phone lines right away, and then definitely, get your questions ready, get your thoughts ready, and give your boy a call. So hold on right there.
Here's a great opportunity for you to get your weight up. Let's face it, our purchasing power and our currency has been destroyed in real time. That's why I'm excited to tell you about my partnership with Bullion Max. Bullion Max will ship gold and silver directly to your door for you to hold at your home or in your own safe. To help you get started, I worked out a special offer with them. Get Bullion Max Silver Starter Kit at employee pricing. Just go to bullionmax.com/RTD. This kit includes 5 of the most desirable silver products to invest in, including the American Silver Eagle and the Silver Australian Kangaroo. This offer is limited to 1 per household while supplies last, so get yours today and take advantage of this opportunity to get your weight up. Now, you can't just stop at getting your weight up. You also got to get your calories up because definitely a food shortage is underway between droughts, flooding, and all the climate issues being thrown our way. America's food supply is near its breaking point. That's why survival food is more important than ever. Create your own stockpile of the best-selling 4 Patriot survival food kits. It's not ordinary food. We're talking about 25 years super survival food, hand-packed right in the family-owned facility in the USA. The kits are compact, sturdy, water-resistant. They have different delicious breakfasts, lunches, and dinners. Go to 4patriots.com/RTD to get your 3-month survival kit. You'll get their famous guarantee for an entire year after your order, plus 10 free gifts and free shipping. To take advantage of this opportunity, go to 4patriots.com/RTD to build your own stockpile today, because beyond the weight, you're going to need your calories as well. Links in the description.
All right, well, let's get back to it. So as always, let's open the phone lines, man. Let's jump right into it. Don't want to waste any time. I want to hear from you guys directly. But I do have a story that I want to bring to your attention for those who may not have a chance to check into the news. But also, as I mentioned, going to do something different today. We'll see where it takes us. But just curious to get your guys' thoughts on what's going on and what you keep an eye on. Let me just check in. There's also Starlink. I hear more and more about that popping up around the planet in certain areas, especially Iran right now, due to the censorship and stuff like that. But it's very suspicious that the government is all for helping build Starlink. Other than the fact we know Starlink is going to be a part of the future they have for us. So, but anyway, what else we got going on? So feel free to give me a call. Phone lines are open 313-462-0027. I want to talk to some people directly. If not, throw out some thoughts, ideas in the chat. We can jump on that and we'll just see where it takes us tonight. Let me check in here. I see, just about that. Let me see. Facts, Mike. All right, let's get right in the phone lines, man. I just want to, connect real quick. May not be long tonight. We'll see. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, Mike, Steve, in Region 9.
Steve, what's going on, my friend? How you doing?
Hey, I sent you probably about 4 or 5 videos. You might not be able to do it right now. After the show's over, if you can drop that stuff into the queue for the guys.
Yeah.
So two of them are dealing with the temple, the third temple.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was dealing with geoengineering with Dave Wigington.
Yeah.
I forgot what the other 2 were. Anyway, I hit the store last week, and deli meats, man, they're coming missing. I'm seeing it now. And they're expensive, man.
Yeah, I saw the roast beef pictures you sent me with. Was it $58 for a roast beef for a roast or something like that?
Yeah. And that was just half.
Yeah.
I grabbed the other half too, so that was over $100. Yes, but deli meats is off the hook.
Yeah.
Right now, man. I don't know what. The prices are only going to keep going up, so everybody get your food up, etc.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, we're the missing Russian submarine.
Oh man, I saw a headline, but I haven't dived into it. So, if you got some thoughts, ideas, feel free to share. The hunt for Red October.
Yeah, I know, for real. It's out roaming around somewhere, and that thing has some powerful stuff on it.
Right.
They got that weapon called the Poseidon on that. That thing can burrow down into stuff. then they can set it off later. I would assume that it's headed our way somewhat.
Yeah.
I would have to, given everything that the U.S. is doing.
That's a good
but
point.
yeah, a submarine just doesn't go missing.
Right, that boy it's beneath those waters. It's just hard to find. That boy it's going somewhere, and as you mentioned, it's carrying something lethal. And it doesn't help when the government go out and buy radiation, $290 million worth of radiation drugs or whatnot.
Correct.
So
there's so much stuff. Yeah, there's so much stuff going on now. It's literally hard to keep up. By the time I send you something, there's 3 or 4 more stories popping off.
Exactly. It's well beyond my ability to cover at this point. That's why I'm like, let's talk. Everybody here bring something to the table and we'll talk this out together, man. Because I got about 5-6 articles here, but other than that, it's just like, guys, it's too much going on right now, man. We're in the midst of this whole reset, restructuring. So, yeah, can't keep up fast enough, man.
Yeah, and then California got a serial killer on the loose.
Oh, really? I saw that. Man, so give me the rundown on that. Give me the rundown on that.
I guess he's in the Stockton area. I guess just popping people, man. They don't know who he is or anything. Got some shady little videos that he's out doing his thing on his own time.
So this is what, a week or so after the guy from, I think it was Memphis or something like that, was out there driving by and doing the same thing.
Yeah, something like that, man.
So yeah, like
people are nuts, man. And then I saw something in Thailand where some dude walked in and
killed 35 kids.
35.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man. So watch this. The thing is, all these events utilizing handguns, whatever they might call it, handguns, AR-15, whatever they're gonna call them, it's all designed to say we need to crack down on guns right now. It's getting crazy. We got too many serial killers and people, you know what I'm saying? So this is it's gonna come back to bite us in the butt for sure, man. That's the sad part about it, because to me it's more of a setup than it is natural occurrences just taking place. Because stuff happens like this all the time, but the media jumps on it quick, as if like either they're told to jump on it quick or they're supposed to shine light on it for the government's agenda of trying to get our guns within the next couple months or years. So, yeah.
And there was something in Vegas that popped off probably about an hour ago. Hour and a half ago. Some dudes stabbed about 8-10 people.
Yeah.
I think two of them were dead. It was on the Las Vegas Strip.
Oh man. So yeah.
So people are losing it, man. People are losing it.
Oh man, so you definitely stay up on all this, because this is more than I was aware of. So, but as you bring it up, I put it on the screen. So you bring us real time news in real time, man. So I appreciate it.
Hey man, anyway, I'm not going to keep you on here, man. But yeah, everybody better start turning to God. He's not a myth.
Oh, 100%, man.
That book is real, and
Yeah. Hey, appreciate
Jesus
you, man.
Is Lord.
Thank you, my friend.
All right, now.
Be good.
Talk to you later.
Yeah. Yeah, man, that's real time reporting on the ground there. Appreciate you, Steve. All right, man. Phone lines are open. Give me a call. Just bring your stories. Bring your opinions or expertise. Let's make it a real talk show. Hello, caller. What's where you calling from?
Hey, what's going on, Mike? This is Jimmy from Baltimore.
Jimmy, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Hey, really quick. I went on usdebtclock.org,
mm-hmm.
and then the top right hand corner, I think it say like debt clock time machine,
mm-hmm.
and I think they have like, I don't know if it's accurate, but they have like 2026, and the debt is at like 41 trillion. So I said this before. I think that it's going to be like a slow burn.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't think anything's going to break. I mean, if you ask me, it's already broken.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The system was already broken. So I think that it's just going to be a slow burn, maybe some assets like, I don't know, equities, precious metals, crypto. Maybe they will all rise, but, everything else around us will rise. So what will happen? Everybody with the assets, you're going to have to spend them to survive.
Right.
So maybe that's how we'll end up owning nothing.
And
You know what I mean?
That could very well be a part of their game plan, just because the limited supply of real world goods, such as food and energy and all the things that we need to sustain our lives, definitely will be impacted as well, as the currency is completely debased. Because ultimately, you're just saying it's a complete currency meltdown with the prices of goods and services going to the moon. So, yeah. And the unfortunate part is still a good portion of people do not actually have real tangible money in the form of metal in their possession. So they're definitely going to be on the losing end. While there'll be opportunities for other people in the short term, especially to take advantage of the opportunities of getting into real world assets that might even produce a little bit of, I can't necessarily say cash flow just because the cash is being destroyed, but it might set you up a little bit better off than those who have nothing. So, but yeah, time will tell, man.
Yeah, and I remember the last time I called and I told you about, for me, I feel like the wealth transfer is, for me, is more of a spiritual thing rather than physical. And I'm in a good space because, like, honestly, like, for so long I was like living in fear, you know what I mean, because of these times, you know, always warning people, and then when it actually is at your doorstep and it's happening, I wasn't able to handle it. But now I'm more at peace because I'm realizing, I mean, what can I do? And then really, none of us really know the day or time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
100%, man.
So
100%. Hey, appreciate you calling,
man.
man. Thank you for sharing that.
All right.
Be good.
No problem.
Yep. Yeah, good stuff, man. Appreciate you for sharing that. Yeah, we're at 31 trillion now. And so even if it was a slow burning, so as of right now, and they're projecting it to be by 2026 to be 40.4 trillion. And that's only what, 4 years away. And at this current moment, if something was to completely break and there was a debt meltdown, a bank's event or something like that, if they wanted to try to revitalize things, they're going to have to come out with at least definitely 10 plus trillion just to try to make it appear as if they're trying to save the economy. And that'll put us well at that 46 trillion. So I think this clock here is understating the damage that the amount of currency that will be brought into existence in case something else jumps off. So, but yeah, we will see, man. That's why, if you don't hold it, you don't own it. Hello, caller. Where are we calling from?
Mike, it's Barlight Broker from the internet.
Barlight Broker, what's going on, my friend?
Hey, the last caller's exactly right. I agree with a lot of what he said. But I had a thought the other day, and this is kind of theory-ish or just like kind of spooky, but I thought about it. Over the past couple of years, they keep talking about these damn chip shortages and, we can't get a computer chip or a truck and all this, you know?
Yeah.
Well, have you ever seen the inside of a computer chip manufacturing facility?
I have not, no.
Okay, well, there's not even a speck of dust in there or skin or anything like that. They're all in suits. All of the work is basically done by mostly machines and high-tech computers, things beyond your imagination.
Yeah.
So there's basically no chance for them to have like a problem with employees because everybody's sealed up in basically a hazmat suit or something like that.
Yeah.
I have a theory that the only reason that there is a chip shortage, and there might have been one, but my new theory, what I'm starting to think at this point, is what may have happened. I think that they used that time to make the chips to basically microchip us, and they were lying, saying that there's a chip shortage and COVID caused it, and I think that they were actually making 10 billion chips to microchip all of us. That's what I'm starting to think.
Once again, I mean, it might sound outlandish to some, but then again, if the mind can conceive it, then it's a possibility that somebody's thought of it or working on it. So I would never say that could be that's not real. That's a conspiracy. No, come on now. Like, we've all come to the truth now where we know that there's no such thing as really as conspiracies when your government's trying to take you out the game. So, hey, I would never put it past our government, because one thing we do notice is that when the whole lockdown took place, they shut down all the auto manufacturers and had them creating ventilators in mass production for the purpose of basically suffocating people in hospitals. So I wouldn't put it past that microchips are being made as well. Hey, it's a possibility, man.
And Mike, that's something I thought of. I didn't hear that somewhere else.
Okay.
That's something in my mind.
Hey, well, I'll give you.
But
I don't want to give you credit for if it comes to pass, but
right.
we can point back to where
I don't want to be right.
Right. I understand. I wouldn't want to be right either.
Right, Mike. Have a good night, buddy.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks for calling. And great thoughts, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Bye.
Yeah. So that's, man. Like, so once again, that's a unique thought. I never thought about that one. So yeah, and that's where I do follow the chip shortage stuff. You know, I'm looking at some stuff now. It's just, yeah, man, chip shortage this, chip shortage that. And then what sucks is that, wasn't it a couple of weeks ago, a month or two ago, over the summer, that they signed the CHIP Act, basically funding the technology companies to be able to produce these chips in mass. So it does kind of line up with the government continuously providing funds for things that don't really actually help anybody other than funnel currency into the pockets and hands of other people. So yeah, at this point, you never know. You never know. Let's get some more calls in, man. Feel free to call me. Let me know what's on your mind. What's on your radar? What do you keep an eye on? Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Mike, it's low blood pressure. Corpus Christi, how's it going?
LBP, doing good, my friend. What's on your mind?
Hey, man, there's a new definition for insanity.
Give it to me.
All right, check it out. It's when you keep buying silver with your credit cards, expecting the stock price to go up. It never goes up, Mike. What's going on?
So it looks like we did get a slight pump fake earlier this week, but then again, you know, I realized the continuous efforts to slam the price down, and whenever there's a sell-off of 20 cent, 30 cent, 40 cent, it recovers within minutes rather than it actually, you know, going further down still. So I just feels like there's a lot of effort to try to, you know, dump those futures on the market, as well as all the silver squeeze activity happening behind the scenes. So once again, they've done a good job so far. 40, 50 years, they might keep it going, but I'm not mad just because I'm going to take advantage of it, man. So and if it doesn't happen, oh, well, I just have a lot of silver and, you know, on my hands to get rid of, pass on to my grandkids or something like that, man. But it's going to be worth somebody. It's going to be worth something to somebody one day.
Man, I'm waiting on getting 10 kilos, Mike, but I'm going to wait till it goes down a little bit more. Hopefully the premiums stay down.
Yeah. Now, so once again, listening to, you know, like Andy Shackman, I follow him religiously, and all those other guys that, you know, of course they're in the metals business, so they got to stir up the pot a little bit to keep people interested no matter what. But then again, I do believe, based upon people I follow who don't have nothing to sell directly, who just report activity on the Crimex and all those other metals exchanges, that, you know, somebody somewhere is removing silver and taking it off the open interest available silver, and they're putting it somewhere, whether it's a private vault or going back into the bank's coffers or the uber wealthy people buying it, who knows. But once again, they're not bringing it out of the ground fast enough to meet demand. So at some point, the price going to have to reflect the true nature of its value, I think. That'd be my opinion.
Oh, Mike, look, this hyperinflation, this disease didn't do it. This massive print didn't do it.
Was it really massive, though? But was it really massive, though? Like the Fed's balance sheet, 8.8, you know, like, and Jerome Powell said that they have a lot more room to go as far as providing stimulus if they needed to. So, you know, is $1 trillion really big these days when our government's doing billions daily? Like, you know, so in order to really see true hyperinflation, in my opinion, they got to account for $2.3 quadrillion worth of derivatives. So if they could somehow like try to fund that or cover up those losses on the other side of that trade, then we could probably see something in the form of a super hyper inflation if they created quadrillion dollars out of nowhere. And of course it won't happen, but that would be more like hyperinflation to me. Yeah.
We need to start having this money movement. You know, nobody's, we need to start seeing these millionaires just dumping, and everybody just, I want straight pandemonium, Mike, but it doesn't happen. Get into it patient here.
Yeah, man. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not the one behind the scene pulling the strings, man. So I'm just trying to live my, I guess what they call the American dream as long as I can before the boy comes to a complete end, if it does. But one thing I do notice, and I heard Gregory Manarino talk about this the other day, we do see a little bit of the money velocity starting to move, meaning that some people are deciding to unload some things. So Q1, we do see a little upward trajectory, which is, something I'm sure to keep an eye on because, the currency circulating a little bit faster than previous years. So that could tell something as well for the future.
I still think, Mike, that guy, Gregory Manarino, I like him. I call him Gregory Cryptorino because he loves crypto so much, But anyway, he's a good guy. But what do you call it? What was I going to say? Now I forgot. I'm trying to insult people. I forget what I'm going to say. No, but oh yeah, he's always watching the 10-year yield. He's really following that.
Yeah.
That's why I learned from him. That's like genius. Like I didn't even know about that, the whole bond market.
Yeah,
and he explains how the stock market is a derivative of the bond market.
Yeah, and that's why
I still don't understand it all the way. But
I'm still learning to this day, and that's why for me it's great to connect with Mario because he's the bond guy as well. So just bouncing ideas off him all the time, I'm learning myself. So once again, I don't know much of nothing. I just interview a lot of smart people and I read a lot of articles and books, and that's kind of how I get my little bit of knowledge. But I'm still learning as well. But I do realize that at the foundation of all this, it's all upon debt and credit. And so as long as that stuff is still flowing and they're able to somehow service that, i.e. what UK did last week by reversing and basically bringing out 64 billion pounds out of nowhere, then they can kick the can a little bit further. So we'll find out who else pivots or pauses or whatever. But if they don't create and counterfeit these funds into existence, then, the system going to lock up on its damn self because where the currency going to come from. So, but once again, who am I, man? I'm not an economist or a PhD guy. What?
Yeah, I remember now. Back to the crypto. I think that was all made just to soak up liquidity. That's also everybody can just park their money in there.
Yeah, which is a possibility. But once again, it's still a small market cap. It's like 1 trillion right now, and that's peanuts in comparison to 60 trillion or like 30 trillion for the stock market, and the global bond market is another 30 trillion, and so 1 trillion is mighty small for now. But then again, they can try to funnel it into that new system and out of the old. But then again, we're witnessing all this crackdown. I think the EU just announced some stuff about trying to crack down on the cryptocurrencies. They consider it a threat to the financial system now. So all of a sudden. I wonder why.
I know, right? How convenient.
Right,
How
exactly.
convenient. All right, Mike.
Appreciate you, man.
Take my call, Mike.
Yeah, be good.
All right, have a good night, Mike.
Speaking of which, real quick, let me at least try to get one. I'm gonna get one article in just because this is something that I thought was timely that a lot of people can learn from. So this is an article I shared. Mind you, all these articles that I'm not gonna share anything else other than just this one, but the Bank of England, and this is just the headline itself, tells you how much of a Ponzi scheme system that we've been led to believe is sustainable. But then we're witnessing as central banks no longer support the system, there's going to be a hiccup. So Bank of England says pension funds were hours from disaster before it intervened. Hours. Now, I was trying to find a video because it's been, was it 12 years or so? But I remember watching some clips about one of I think it was the Treasury Secretary, if I'm not mistaken, going before Congress when he was begging for basically funds to prop the too big to fail banks up and with Lehman Brothers and Bear Stearns and all those companies up. And if I'm not mistaken, somebody let me know if you remember offhand, but I couldn't find a video in time. But didn't they say that the economy was with days before it crashed or days before things locked up or something like that? So I want to say I remember hearing the word days. And so let me know if I'm right or wrong. Could have been more than that. But I'm thinking like if that was great financial crisis, that the whole scare tactic was that we need funds or within the next couple of days, the entire financial system will go belly up. Here we're hearing the word hours. The Bank of England says pension funds were hours away. And so I'm thinking like, they were able to just basically patch this up with, as I mentioned, with 65 billion pounds that's set to expire, was I think the 14th of October. So basically by next week, they got to come up with another gimmick to try to keep this Ponzi rolling. Or the gilt market will just go belly up as people try to dump them. But I'm thinking like when something else happens, whether it be the U.S. or Europe, the events unfolding in Europe could be that next event where we see something where they say the entire financial system in Europe and all the EU countries are set to fail within seconds if EU don't reverse course or decide to stimulate to infinity. So it went from days during the Great Financial Crisis just to the country of UK, hours, where pensions were exposed as being fake and fraudulent, nothing there but debt instruments, non-performing liabilities, and then whatever the next event, which could be seconds. So the clock is ticking, is my whole point. The reference of time, literally, we're living in borrowed time as this whole Ponzi scheme of an economy is exposed in real time. So if that doesn't, as Mario said, that doesn't tell you how severe things are and how the opportunity of getting things that you think are yours out of the system in time is dwindling, because at any minute now there's going to be a banking event. And I think that Credit Suisse right now, I saw something earlier talking about Credit Suisse is trying to get liquid. So they're selling a hotel that they own, I think, for $400 million. It's like 130-year-old hotel. And so they're trying to shore up some cash. So yeah, at some point, something's going to break. Anyway, I'm rambling too much. Give me a call. Let's talk. As I mentioned before, how fast did gas go from 50 to a 110? Let me see. TB, what are we talking about? Let me, so I'm hearing about, I did see gas prices went up a little bit. Let me see what I hear in California, or actually on the East Coast, if I'm not mistaken. It's at all-time highs again, or surpassed all-time highs. Or let me see here. We got, here's an article right here. Let me bring this up here if I can find it. Nope, wrong one. Let me find here. It says, Anna says soaring gas price will decrease by $1. Let me see, that over the last month. So here's something out in California. Let me get this call real quick. One sec. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
California.
Mike.
Hello?
Yeah, Mike, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How we doing? What's your name, my friend?
This is Dave from New York.
Dave from New York. What's going on with you?
Well, I have a couple of questions for you.
Go ahead. Throw it out there.
All right. So the American economy, or America, is supposed to be the greatest nation.
That's what we're told.
On the earth, right?
That's what we're told.
That's what we're told.
Right.
Right. So in your opinion, how did it get to the point where it is called the greatest nation?
I would say it was the result of the world wars from 1 all the way to 2. And in that transition, all the world's gold being sent here, basically giving us the reserve currency status, because the dollar and the gold peg up into 71 made it so that every nation ultimately needed to use the Federal Reserve system, the SWIFT system, as well as the dollar. And so once the peg was removed and we went on a free floating currency, the dollar still remained the number one uno out of all fiat debt currencies. And the entire system is basically priced in, denominated in USD debt terms. And all our government's liabilities has been considered pristine collateral as reserves to hold on your balance sheets if you want to do business in an international trade system. So something around those lines gave us the status that we've held for the last 80 plus years, plus a couple other things, but just the basics.
Okay, so America has been around, the corporation America has been around for what, 240 something years?
Give it take. I'll go according to that.
Yeah, give or take, right? And if I remember correctly, the numbers say that America's been at war for 240 years out of the 240 something years of its existence.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
At some point, it has been in a war.
Mm-hmm.
And when it was not in a war, it was in what you call proxy wars.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Leading up to wars.
Yeah.
So if we assess the whole picture or the full dynamics of the country, then president that said it? America is a warring nation.
I'm not drawing a blank off the top of my head, but I'll run with it. Keep going.
Right, but even without knowing which president it was,
Mhm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
When, if you have a child and the child always comes home, the teacher is always saying this child is fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Even if the child says people are picking on him, after a while you're going to say, no, it's you. There's something about you that either you're picking fights or you're creating fights
Mhm.
or something, right?
Right.
It's a logical conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
So this is my point. My point is that the country has been at war, always warring against other nations.
Right.
Right. There's only one time during the Civil War that there has been war on these lands.
Mm-hmm.
So-
Revolutionary War as well.
So the Revolutionary War. Then, if you want to say the Spanish-American War,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
The war with Mexico. So, is the so-called greatness of this country, really based on those things that you said, or is it really based on the fact that America goes to war against other
Everybody.
entities?
Right. So
And then,
yeah, I would say so. Just the things I listed were just the historical aspects of our monetary system to this point. But beyond that, we got the military industrial complex. We got more military bases that have been put in place to basically scare the world and to defend and basically suppress any other alternatives from arising up until this point. Because that's why we're witnessing what's happening with Russia and China, how they're working hand in hand and those sanctions aren't working. But then once again, the U.S. is helpless just because their military might, in my opinion, is stronger than what we got. So all that's crumbling right now. So our so-called greatness, which I think is what we were fed, which brainwashed us. And it worked well during this industrial transition where we were manufacturing stuff and producing stuff. We had technology that the world needed and all that stuff like that. But now we didn't pretty much outsource everything to where we are basically exporting debt and getting real world stuff. And that's not a sign of greatness whatsoever. So we've used the world, drained the world of everything of usefulness. And now we're just basically hanging on for dear life, threatening the world because we have the reserve status for now. So no, nothing great about that at all. It's just the way things were and the world accepted it because we had nuclear bombs and we set them off twice to show that if you don't comply, something might just go off in your backyard. So you scare people enough, they ain't gonna back down from. They're not gonna stand up to you. Is basically what I'm getting at.
Okay, great. So my last point, right? Based on that, if you are living here in America, and you are eating the king's meat, which the king procured by destroying other nations, right? Meaning killing other people. Can you then say that you are innocent?
So like me personally, being a recipient,
not you, but
or just us in general,
generally,
everybody on here because we're recipients of the catastrophes that our government has caused around the world, putting us in this position that we have been called, I guess, fortunate and blessed to have lived this lifestyle with the credit system, stuff like that. So am I guilty as well for going along with it type of thing?
No, I'm not guilt, right? But innocent, right? Like in order for you to enjoy the accoutrements of this society,
right,
somebody in some other country had to die.
Right. Was basically, yeah.
Or suffer.
Right. So
right?
I can. I mean, as much as I wouldn't want to say, let me see that's an interesting perspective there because it's like, okay, I didn't condone it. I was born into this land, and I happen to be a recipient of the benefits of it. Now that I'm awake and aware as to how much damage we've caused the world, I'm not in a position to want to apologize, but I would definitely love to make things right if I could. I don't feel guilty or nothing like that, just because, this is just how things are. I mean, I had nothing to do with it, but now that I'm awake and aware of what's going on, I definitely want to try to make a difference as far as waking people up to try to help people realize that, we are not much better than anybody else. And we're finding out that right now. So But yeah, I get what you're saying. It's like I kind of when you're describing, I kind of felt a certain way, like But then again, it's like, hey, what can I do about it?
Right. So it's not. Just so I'm clear, right?
Yeah.
Before I get off, I'm not asking for you or anybody else to feel guilty. The point that I'm making is that we just have to be honest and clear about the situation that we are in.
Right.
Like, we are the recipients of the booty that America takes from other nations,
right?
Other indigenous peoples, and so forth. And
in the name of in the name of democracy, at that, we're spreading democracy, and we take what we want.
Whatever, however we want to frame it. Once we are clear about that, right?
Yeah,
we get to see, like it's kind of like, what is, we are fed this narrative of our greatness,
right,
and how lucky we are to be American,
right,
and that greatness and that luck, so-called luck, that they feed us, or that narrative that they feed us, is based on the fact that America is killing other people, killing people throughout the world.
Right. Hey, man, I appreciate you. I appreciate that. You brought a good point to the surface, man. Let me get some more calls in. Right, I appreciate you, though. Thank you.
Yeah, do your thing, Mike. Thanks.
Yeah, appreciate you. Oh, man, that's great perspective there, man. Great perspective. All right, so man, I like that. I like what I was going, man. Americans, we kind of sort of maybe played our part in this, but then did we? I don't think so, but I missed some calls, forgive me. And if you agree or disagree, call in and let your voice be heard. Hello, caller, where are you calling from?
Hello, good evening, Mike, and your viewers. This is Jonathan from Trinidad and Tobago.
Jonathan, what's going on? How you doing, my friend?
I'm good. I'm calling to talk about what's on my radar.
Go ahead, give it to
I think Saudi Arabia. Because if you listen to the entire OPEC meeting yesterday, notice you get this theme that OPEC trying to form this alliance along where they're not just following oil prices or trying to distort oil prices to where they want it to be.
Yeah.
They're actually looking at long-term production, long-term security for oil producers in these oil-producing countries.
Yeah.
And they talk, each country was talking about sovereignty and how they're seeking the best interest of the oil producers in their own country.
Right.
This is not about having cheap oil for the West is not the aim here. It is more, and even if you listen to the representative from Congo, he's the hydrocarbons minister for Congo.
Yeah.
He had to correct a Western journalist from CNBC about the difference between what is energy poverty and energy security, because the problem is Westerners mixing up the two. But you go in other parts of the world, in Africa, Southeast Asia, Latin America, you have people who have zero access to energy.
Right.
And so what OPEC is doing is that it's all part of the multipolar shift, where they're saying, going along with the West and this system not going to work. And Saudi Arabia has been continuously talking about this for some time.
Yeah.
They want to join BRICS. They're setting up alternative payment systems with India, looking to do the same with Russia.
Right.
And then you have, you have the Saudi oil minister saying they think that physical oil markets detach from paper markets, that the paper oil market is detached from reality. People in silver market talk about silver like that, but they hear official talk about oil like that. They already want to cut out the speculation.
Right.
And this has been spoken of in Russia as well. So I think Saudi Arabia is putting themselves in a position where they could end up becoming a target for a color revolution. Because this type of behavior is not tolerated from the powers that be. I mean, they're talking about sovereignty and trying to, have oil markets to suit the best interest of producers and investors in OPEC countries. I mean, no. OPEC, you see, Westerners think OPEC supposed to be bowing down and doing whatever it takes to bring oil prices down so we can enjoy things in the West. But this is not how they are thinking. Even when you listen to the UAE minister at that press conference, I was shocked. They were clear cut. This is all about OPEC nations. And a lot of these OPEC nations are in places like Africa as well, and Southeast Asia, I mean, Russia, I mean, the Middle East, because some of these countries are what we might consider OPEC plus countries. They're not founding members of OPEC, but they're part of OPEC, but on the OPEC plus side of the organization, the alliance. So I think Saudi Arabia moving towards this sovereign mentality they have. I don't know if they listened to President Putin's speech last week and they just, start to think about sovereignty more and about self-determination as their own country, as a country. But I think Saudi Arabia had to realize that they have been serving U.S. interests for decades, and to just walk out on that, they could be setting up themselves for a serious color revolution. So, and MBS, he's trying to make a name for himself as this, leader for the people of Saudi Arabia. But I fear that things could go bad with interference.
Right. So great point there. And so I do think that with this recent Saudi Arabia deciding to basically through the OPEC go against the grain and basically piss off the West, that there will be some type of event. And so that's why I think Saudi Arabia and Russia last year joined forces in their little partnership. I got it on the screen here. So the fact that Saudi Arabia and Russia signed deal to develop joint military cooperation. And so basically Russia stepping in to help, I guess, shore up what could be called the Russian petrol system or the OPEC petrol system, i.e. no longer the petrodollar system. And so I think that Saudi Arabia is basically made their choice to where they're going to support the East agenda with China and their deals and Russia. And so now that's why the U.S. just announced yesterday that they're going to minimize the sanctions on Venezuela so they can start pumping some more oil. So, it's they're choosing sides, man. And so we'll find out how much time before.
Yeah, we saw it too in last point. We saw it too with the last meeting of the Gulf Cooperation Organization. All these Middle East countries that are OPEC members as well are in the Gulf Cooperation Organization when Sergei Lavrov, foreign minister for Russia, visited. And it wasn't, and they were talking about EU representatives and US telling the Gulf Cooperation to shun the foreign minister. But the opposite took place. They all lined up, all 22 Gulf Cooperation Organization countries lined up, the respective delegates, to meet Sergei Lavrov and reassure that they are all in this together, because I think the Middle East is actually buying into this whole multipolar world order shift that the Eurasia Economic Union and Russia and them are pushing.
Hands down.
I think the Middle East buying with it.
And I think it has everything to do with Saudi Arabia or rumors or word of Saudi Arabia wanting to join the BRICS Plus. And so if that is true, then that's a clear sign that they have sided with the East because of this announcement as of now with the oil, as well as the BRICS Plus application and all the other things. But then again, it's quite obvious that it's the world rejecting the petrodollar system and the West, as well as their payment infrastructure systems and the dollar. So it's literally it's a slap in the it's not a slap in the face, but it's an outright rejection of the old order. And now we just wait and see before what the West does, because the West is basically getting backed in the corner because all the real world economies that produce real things are going to the East. So we don't do nothing on the West no more but export debt. So what do? We got to get back to either building or making or pumping from the ground, or we going to have a very cold winter our damn self on this side. Yeah. Good points, man.
Thank you so much for taking my call, Mike. You take care.
Appreciate you, my friend. Thanks for calling in.
All the best. Bye-bye.
Good. That's some great points there. Like the Saudi Arabia situation is just one more event that just signals the world is shifting in real time. But then again, here in the West, we're not talking about it on the mainstream news. They don't get no real coverage. We got so many internal problems and deliberate division that they're trying to keep everybody at tug of war with each other. I saw another story out there. Okay, so somebody mentioned Zelensky and him basically calling for a nuclear strike, like a preemptive nuclear strike. Like, come on now. This dude, man, like he's a hell of an actor, boy. So real quick, for those who may not be familiar, but Zelensky calls for a preemptive strikes from NATO to keep Russia from using nukes. So like, you go ahead and nuke them first so that they can't nuke us. Like, that's not going to work. Like when this guy right here, man, this is a dangerous guy because he's definitely he's a puppet, and whoever he's speaking on behalf of, they're wanting a war. And then you factor in, they got that Red October, Russian submarine is gone missing. Okay. Yeah, man. Anyway. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, it's Ed. How you doing, Mike?
Ed, doing good, my friend. What's on your mind?
Hey, I got to give you guys a little bit of a history lesson here.
I
agree with some of the caller before last was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But, with the wars and all that's kind of recent history. Let's go back a little bit. Who invented electricity? United States. Who invented the automobile? The United States. Right?
Okay, but watch it, Ed, real quick. Real quick. So before I disrupt you, the more I hear about the alternative reality and the whitewashed history books that we've been given, I can't really say that's for sure because we've been told that, and the bootleg footages and phone and pictures we saw, I don't really trust it as much as I did prior to realizing that we've been lied to about a lot of things. But for the sake of it, for what you're saying, I'll go with that.
Man.
I'll go with that.
You don't think Thomas Edison invented electricity and that we were the first country to really wire ourselves up to electricity? You don't think that's true?
I'll run with that, but then again, I wouldn't say that's 100% just because I've heard a lot about it. I heard a lot about a lot of alternative as well as African American inventors that had their patents and their inventions stolen because they weren't allowed to do anything with them and given over to people.
Where were they doing that at? In America or over in the middle of Africa?
I heard here in America. That's what I heard. Some stories, but I can't verify that. So.
Okay, we're still American.
Yeah, in America. Okay, sure. Okay.
Seriously now.
Okay.
Seriously now, Mike. Listen to me for a minute, brother.
Yeah, go ahead.
Tell me where they mass-produced cars like Henry Ford did before Henry Ford?
Nowhere. America.
We were the first country to wire up electricity. We were the first ones to do sewage and drainage, right?
Mm-hmm.
We were the first ones to have a public water system. I mean, I didn't get that out of a history book. It's common knowledge.
Okay.
And, this country was based on God, and God blessed us.
Right, 100%.
And it came through hard work. The Industrial Revolution, the railroads, the oil business, started right here in Ohio, Michigan, right up there on the border.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. I didn't learn that in history. I learned that from economics, watching the world, I didn't read about Thomas. It's pretty much factual that we were the leaders in the Industrial Revolution, and we made all this, the majority of these things happen. Now, we took some scientists from Germany after the war, and they made the nuke and, missiles, got all our NASA going and all that.
Mm-hmm.
They definitely had some good things going, but we weren't always evil. I think we're fairly evil now. Vietnam wasn't necessary. We killed 2 million people. Iraq wasn't necessary. Look what we did in Syria, for God's sake.
Right.
And we killed that guy and sodomizing, threw him in a freezer and sold their gold. But long term, we were blessed by God for honest, God-loving people working hard and producing things. We produced things.
Right.
This didn't end until like the 1970s, Mike. We were still the number one producers in the world.
Mm-hmm.
60s and 70s, we made everything. If it started somewhere else, how come we were making most of this stuff?
Right.
I'm not saying we made everything, but we were the most productive, hardworking, God-fearing country, and that's why we're great.
Right.
Now, we got our leaders in there that took over and started fighting wars for money. The petrodollar, you mess with the dollar, we'll bomb you. I agree with all that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's recent history. That's only the last 50 years.
Right.
So let's not degrade what our forefathers did and what we accomplished through hardworking, God-fearing people. It wasn't even welfare until the 60s, man.
Right. Understandable.
You had to work to eat. You had to produce. So this is all new. So I don't like somebody calling up and just saying, because we go around killing people, we're reaping the benefits. Now we're reaping the benefits of our forefathers.
Hey, I can ride with that as well, my friend. I do hear and see where you're coming from. So yeah, I'm grateful for the hard work and everything put in as well. So hey, I'm all good with that, man.
All right, brother.
Appreciate you, Ed. Thanks, man.
Bye.
Yeah, and that's where, like, that's the great opportunity of having a talk show where people can call in and chime in and add bits and pieces so we get a much well-rounded story. Because I'm sure there's some other people who can add on to that as well. So I see a lot of people, especially Donald, sharing some thoughts as well. So feel free, Donald, to call in and share your perspective as well. It's all love. What else we got? Yeah. Mike got some patience. Yeah, I'm learning, man. Like, once again, the best way to learn is to get it in real time from real people, which are you guys. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, Mike, Steve, being Region 9 again.
Steve, what you got for me?
Calling twice. It was too good tonight.
Give it to me, man. What you got?
Hey, I would like to say this. I could agree with what Ed said, and I can agree with what part of the other caller said too, because America has been arrogant around the world. That's a fact. And if you travel outside the U.S., which I have quite a bit, and I'm sure you have too, there's a different view. There's a different view of the U.S.
Right.
Or I'd say at least the U.S. government. I put it that way. They are looked upon as bullies in many instances.
Yeah.
So and when we're talking about how good everybody was, back in the day, well, these things were back in the day too. When they laid out those streets in Washington D.C. in a pentagram, when they put gave Albert Pike a monument in D.C. Morals and dogma. The man worshipped Satan. The Washington Monument, which is a phallic symbol.
Yeah,
we have to realize the ruler of this world. He touches the U.S. too.
Right.
The U.S. is not exempt from Satan.
Yeah.
So I figured I'd just call in and add that.
No, hey, great, great addition. Go ahead.
And one more thing too. Different topic. Back in the Depression and stuff, there's a video. I had it last week. I'll have to look it up again. But there's a video of the Great Depression and how people were getting along and everything. Gold, silver, and food is how they were doing it. There were stories of people giving other people half a bag of groceries and getting in return a brand new piano. Things like that.
Yeah.
There's tons of stories like that about how to get along when these times get tough.
Right.
But anyway, I figured I'd call back in and I'm off and listen to the rest of the show.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks for calling in.
All right, take care.
Yep. Good stuff, man. Good stuff there. Yeah, valuable nuggets, man. Just different perspectives, man. Like, so that's the thing. Like, everybody has a different perspective on the same subject matter because everybody received a little bit of a different history lesson growing up, especially for our older community. Because I'm in my 40s, so I ain't been around long enough to really understand the true impacts of how the history books has not been too favorable for people, like this. But I hear from my mom and my daddy how things in Detroit used to be, and how back in Detroit, in like where there's a freeway now, it used to be considered similar to like a little Black Harlem. I forgot what it's called, but it was a very heavily populated, African-American community of businesses and everything like that. They came through, cleared it out, hollowed it out. So there's several stories like that of, communities that are completely excavated, land stolen, eminent domain rights. And just because they didn't want people to be prosperous. So yeah, history books, man, the more I dive into all this, I ain't gonna say conspiratorial, but there's a lot of informative videos and news clippings from the yesteryears popping up now, which definitely gives a much different story, which is why I say I'm able to question everything now, because I know we've been lied to all the damn time. Hello, caller. Which name are we calling from? Hello? Going once, going twice?
Mike, pay me money back.
Pay me money back. What's going on, my friend?
Hey, not too much, man. Let me ask you a question. It's on topic, but off topic, man.
Go ahead, man. I know you got something for me. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Would you ever join a gang?
Would I ever join a gang? Me personally, no. I never. That just wasn't me.
You sure?
Like a gang, like outright gang. No,
Yeah.
I enjoy. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm part of a sports team, so I'm enjoying a club or something like that, but not a gang. Especially if it means like illegal activity and stuff that never aligned with me. But no. Right, go ahead.
You in a gang? You already in one, Mike?
Give it to me. What game I'm in?
All right, check this out. All right, when you in a gang, you give all your power to the AKA OG. He make all the rules. So whenever you beef with your opponent, then or he beef or your clique get into it, then all y'all got a beef, right?
Right.
All right. So when you vote as an American citizen, you give your power to who?
I give it to whoever I vote for.
Okay. And when they beef with somebody, is it your problem too?
Yeah, because they represent me, I guess. Yeah.
Right. So when you sitting on your couch and you eating Doritos and you cut your TV on and you see we're at war with another country, you know nothing know what's going on. You in the game, Mike.
Okay.
So check this out.
Yeah.
As an American citizen, you fly over to China, you getting the dirty looks. And you love these people. You love their culture. You getting cussed out. You don't know why. But they not calling you the N-word or nothing. They calling you American.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So the way you lay that out, sure. Okay, I'm a part of a gang.
Yeah, you a part of a gang. It don't matter how you look at it. Russia, all they people part of go. And when you in the country and you at war with other people and you vote and you delegate your power to somebody else who makes decisions for you because they deem you incompetent, you are in the gang. I don't care how you look at it.
Okay.
Because check this out. That's what we did at the beginning of time with Adam and Eve. Once we gave our power to the devil, he had dominion to make the rules, and he kept the cycle going. Now you're gonna vote. Now you can continue throughout your life cycle to delegate your power to my people, and we're gonna continue to make the rules and take over until we learn to keep our power for ourselves and use it against them. Then hey, you lose.
Right. Hey man. Okay, so you laid it out in a very detailed and understandable way. So I guess we're all gang members. We're all gang banging in, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Hey, I know one thing. Don't go to another country that we beefing with and say something slick. You might not even have to say something slick. You just might get kidnapped. I ain't lying.
Right. Very true. I know my boundaries. I know my place. And of course, whenever I do travel, because I don't want to have any troubles with the law, I stay within my parameters of a tourist. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I try to behave myself. Anyway, man, appreciate you, man.
Yeah, so I just want people to know when you talk down on gang members, you got to talk down on our country because, like I said, you don't make no decisions. What you vote for, it gets changed. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole point why they advertise voting, because they already know you have to give away your power so we can deem to stay on track. Because once you give it to me, I can do what I want to do. I can come tell you, oh, I know what I said, but I didn't know that this came up and, the rules, we can't do that right now. And this is why. Yeah, they're going to give you an excuse why they can't do what you voted for them to do.
Right. Very true. They always got a damn excuse, boy. Oh, man. And it's never in our favor in the first place. It's already in alignment with the script narrative they already wanted ahead of time. They sell us on their own ideas and we go for it. Hey, man. Appreciate you, man.
So just be careful when you vote. Yeah, when you gotta get ready to vote, just think about it. Sit back. You know what I'm saying? Y'all have a good one.
Appreciate it, man. Oh, man. RTD gang. We are all gangsters tonight, man. Oh, my goodness. That's interesting. That's funny, man. Wow. So tonight, we have an hour point, man, but start off a little bit different. Just wanted to open up and have more free-flowing, find out what's on your radar. So I'm going to try to stick more to the script where I just get a chance to hear from you guys and learn and educate each other and just have a little fun and laughs. Tony B says, don't vote. Yeah, that's the best way. But then again, it's like saying to not vote is like also just condoning whatever comes your way, because basically you really didn't have. So if you don't got no say so in it anyway, and if you do vote, it won't go your way anyway. So it's like you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. So yeah, we're screwed. But God is good. He's still on the throne. And this is all just a part of a much greater plan, because his ultimate plan will prevail. In Jesus' name. All right, everybody. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. I did have some fun. Appreciate you for bringing some smiles to my face. I definitely needed that. Hopefully you guys were entertained and educated and everything in between. And I'm not going to take any more calls, but let's pick up tomorrow. And I'm going to try to do a live stream earlier today, just because I have the RTD giveaway that I'm going to announce tomorrow for everybody. If you want to get a chance to get some free weight in your hands, trying to put more weight in the community. So anyway, let's call it in the quits. I see Joshua talk about another hour. Believe me, Josh, you have no how hard it is on this side to take calls, think, process, find articles. I literally go through a complete, by the time I'm done, I'm exhausted mentally. Like, this is an exercise on my side, man. But yeah, once again, so for those who are a part of the community, join the Telegram, Twitter, and everything else in between. And if we got any content creators out there, I could use some help on my side. I would definitely love to have some people from the community be able to come on, get behind the mic, and share their thoughts and expertise, because we can reach more people with more people basically speaking. So I do need some help on that end. So, all right, people, be blessed, be safe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow earlier for a live talk, and hopefully we'll pick up there. And of course, there's going to be news to talk about, but we got to have some smiles and some giggles along with this as well. But anyway, see you guys later. Enjoy the rest of your night or morning, wherever you might be. Shalom.